Overthinking is something most of us know too well. Picture this. It's late at night, and the world around you has finally fallen silent. But instead of feeling peaceful, your mind starts to race, replaying every awkward conversation, every what-if scenario, every fear about tomorrow. It's like you're stuck in an endless mental loop, trapped in thoughts you can't seem to turn off. Maybe you're lying there, wide awake, staring at the ceiling, wishing for an off switch to silence the noise inside your head. It's exhausting, isn't it? But you're not alone in this. The truth is, millions of people wrestle with the same mental marathon each night. And while overthinking might seem like a harmless habit, it has a way of seeping into our lives, stealing away our peace of mind, disrupting our sleep, and making us feel powerless. It's like an itch you can't scratch, an endless cycle that can hold you back from truly living in the present. You might wonder, is there any way to find peace, to quiet those noisy thoughts and take back control? Today, we're diving into an ancient solution that's more relevant than ever: Stoic philosophy. Stoicism is a powerful tool for those who feel overwhelmed by life's endless what-ifs. This isn't just an old philosophy meant for scholars and historians. Stoicism is a practical guide that has helped countless people, from emperors to everyday individuals, find clarity and resilience amidst the chaos. Its teachings offer real, actionable strategies to overcome overthinking and cultivate a focused, peaceful mind. In the next few minutes, you'll discover how Stoic principles, developed thousands of years ago, can bring you the calm and clarity you've been searching for. We're going to explore the lessons and insights of the Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, who faced life struggles with a wisdom that remains timeless. From learning to act rather than overanalyze, to letting go of the need for perfection, to staying grounded in the present, each Stoic insight can help us break free from the grip of our own minds. If you're tired of feeling stuck in overthinking, stay with us. Let's journey together into the wisdom of Stoicism and unlock the tools that can transform your mental landscape. This could be the start of a new way to live, one that's calmer, more focused, and genuinely free from the exhausting cycle of overthinking. 1. The burden of overthinking. Every evening, as the world quiets and settles down, our minds often do the opposite. Thoughts we've suppressed during the busy day return, louder than ever, echoing in the quiet of the night. We lie awake in bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying moments of the day, what we might have said wrong, things we could have done differently, and worries about the unknowns of tomorrow. Overthinking is a familiar place for so many of us, a mental marathon that's exhausting and seemingly endless. We become tangled in a web of worries and hypothetical scenarios, often without resolution or relief. The mind races, jumping from one what if to another, while sleep and peace feel like distant goals. Overthinking, when we reflect on it, resembles a persistent itch we can't quite reach. No matter how hard we try to calm our minds, the thoughts grow louder, more insistent, feeding our anxieties and draining our mental and physical energy. It steals away our nights, but it doesn't stop there. The exhaustion seeps into our days, distracting us, making it harder to focus, and pulling us into endless loops of doubt and worry. But what if we could break the cycle? The philosophy of Stoicism, a timeless source of wisdom, offers a way to navigate the chaos in our minds. Though Stoicism originated thousands of years ago, it holds practical tools and insights that can bring us clarity and calm in today's fast-paced world. It's a philosophy grounded in action, acceptance, and resilience, teaching us how to deal with the constant noise in our heads and find peace amidst the chaos. If you've ever struggled with overthinking, Stoicism offers an antidote to these restless thoughts. It invites us to shift our focus, moving from the endless cycle of doubt to purposeful, present-minded action. This ancient philosophy challenges us to consider what we truly control and to let go of what lies beyond our power. In doing so, we begin to reclaim our peace of mind and build resilience against the anxieties that once overwhelmed us. With each insight Stoicism offers, we're reminded that life can be simpler, that we don't have to be caught up in the whirlwind of our thoughts. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, taught that by organizing our minds and actions, we can free ourselves from the paralysis of overthinking. His wisdom, like that of many Stoic philosophers, gives us a way forward, not just by shifting our thoughts, but by changing the way we approach each moment. For those tired of mental chaos, Stoicism is a path that leads us to a place of peace, clarity, and purpose. So, the next time your mind races with endless what-ifs and scenarios, remember that there is a way out of the maze of overthinking. As we explore the wisdom of Stoicism, we learn that we're not powerless in this journey. By embracing these principles, we can begin to quiet the noise, live with greater intention, and finally find rest for our overburdened minds. 2. The power of taking action. One of the most powerful ways to combat overthinking is through action. In Stoic philosophy, action is a key principle that helps us break free from the endless loops of doubt and hypothetical scenarios in our minds. Rather than allowing thoughts to overwhelm us, Stoicism teaches us to step forward and do something, however small, as a way to redirect our energy and reclaim control. In fact, the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote that the secret of all victory lies in the organization of the non-obvious. For him, the essence of progress wasn't just in careful contemplation, but in taking steps that lead to real, tangible change. Think about a time when you were caught up in overthinking a decision. Maybe you were planning a project, considering every possible detail, every potential problem and solution. The more you thought about it, the harder it felt to start. This is what we call analysis paralysis. We become so focused on finding the perfect way to proceed that we end up stuck, paralyzed by our own thoughts. Yet, if you've ever managed to break free from this cycle by taking even a small step forward, writing down your ideas, sharing them with a friend, or taking the first concrete action, you probably felt an instant sense of relief. The act of moving forward, even in small ways, is liberating and can lift a heavy mental weight off our shoulders. Stoicism reminds us that while we may not always be able to control the outcome, we can control our actions. By focusing on what we can do now, we reduce the overwhelming pressure of trying to manage every future scenario. This mindset is empowering because it places value on movement, on progress, rather than on perfection. When we choose action over overthinking, we give ourselves permission to make mistakes, to learn, and to grow from the experience. Each action we take, no matter how small, teaches us something new. Sometimes it brings unexpected challenges, but it always brings momentum. One of the valuable lessons Stoicism offers is that each step we take builds our confidence and strengthens our resilience. Every small action is a reminder that we can overcome our fears and doubts, that we can make progress even if the path is uncertain. The more we act, the more we trust in our ability to face whatever comes next. In this way, action feeds into itself, creating a cycle of progress that replaces the cycle of overthinking. In the Stoic worldview, life isn't about waiting for the perfect moment or the ideal circumstances. It's about engaging with the present and making the best use of what's available. Marcus Aurelius spoke of living according to nature, a concept that encourages us to grow and learn through our actions, not just our thoughts. By embracing this principle, we realize that progress doesn't need to be dramatic. Even the smallest steps forward have value. So, the next time you feel caught up in endless contemplation, take a moment to ask yourself, what small action can I take today to move forward? It could be as simple as making a phone call, organizing your workspace, or setting a small goal for the day. Remember, the key is to keep moving, to let go of the idea of perfection, and to embrace progress. Taking action isn't always easy, but it's an antidote to overthinking that empowers us to live fully, bravely, and with a clear sense of direction. Each step forward brings clarity, helping us to see that the world won't stop for our mistakes, and neither should we. 3. Embracing humility, realizing you're not the center of everyone's attention. One of the most liberating ideas in Stoic philosophy is the realization that we are not the center of everyone's attention. Often, our overthinking is fueled by an exaggerated sense of self-importance. We imagine that people are constantly watching and judging us, evaluating our every action. This leads to a heightened sense of anxiety, making us overly cautious and fearful of making mistakes. Yet, Stoicism offers a powerful shift in perspective by teaching us to embrace humility and recognize that, in reality, most people are far more concerned with their own lives than with ours. Marcus Aurelius, a revered Stoic philosopher, frequently reminded himself of this truth. In his personal writings, he reflected, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This isn't meant to be a morbid thought, but rather a grounding one. Recognizing our mortality and the fleeting nature of life, we're encouraged to focus on what truly matters without getting overly attached to how we're perceived by others. This mindset frees us from the exhausting need to live up to imagined expectations and allows us to pursue what we value genuinely. Consider a common scenario in our digital age, hesitating to post something online because we're worried about how others might judge it. Or perhaps we hold back from starting a new project or going after a job opportunity because we fear criticism and failure, thinking everyone will notice and remember every misstep. But here's the Stoic wake-up call. Most people are too wrapped up in their own lives to fixate on ours. They may notice briefly, but soon, they move on to their own challenges and goals. Accepting that we're not the focal point of everyone's attention is incredibly freeing. It doesn't mean that our actions are insignificant. Rather, it means that we don't have to let fear of judgment dictate our lives. When we stop placing so much weight on others' opinions, we begin to live with a newfound sense of authenticity. We become more willing to experiment, to try new things, and to make mistakes, all of which are essential for growth. In fact, Stoic philosophy teaches that our lives should be driven by a sense of inner purpose, not by the pursuit of external validation. Marcus Aurelius and other Stoics advocated for a life of virtue, one rooted in self-respect and authenticity. When we live according to our values rather than in fear of others' opinions, we allow ourselves to experience true freedom. Our worth is no longer defined by what others think of us, but by the integrity of our actions and the sincerity of our intentions. The next time you catch yourself overthinking because of how you might be perceived, remember this. You're not the main character in everyone's story. People are navigating their own challenges, concerns, and aspirations. This doesn't diminish your value. It simply means that you're free to live without the burden of constant scrutiny. By focusing less on how others view us, we can redirect our energy toward what truly matters to us. We get to make our own choices, pursue our own passions, and yes, even stumble along the way, knowing that the world isn't watching as closely as we often think. And embracing humility, we unlock a new level of confidence and peace. We can move through life more lightly, unburdened by the need for approval. This isn't about shrinking ourselves. It's about letting go of unnecessary worries and embracing the freedom to live fully and authentically without the weight of imaginary judgments holding us back. 4. Letting go of comparison. In today's world, the urge to compare ourselves to others is stronger than ever. Social media and the internet give us instant access to snapshots of other people's lives' achievements, vacations, celebrations, and it's easy to fall into the trap of measuring our own worth against theirs. But comparison is a deceptive game. The Stoics taught that true peace comes not from trying to surpass others, but from focusing on what is within our control. When we waste energy comparing ourselves to others, we lose sight of our unique journey and set ourselves up for endless dissatisfaction. Epictetus, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, famously said, "Focus on what you can control and let go of what you cannot." This advice may seem simple, but it holds profound implications for how we approach life. Other people's lives, choices, and successes lie entirely outside our control. By redirecting our focus toward our own values, actions, and progress, we free ourselves from the torment of comparison. The Stoic path encourages us to anchor our sense of self-worth in our own growth and efforts, not in how we measure up to others. Imagine you've just completed a project you're proud of, perhaps a personal goal you've been working toward for months. You feel a sense of accomplishment, a quiet pride in your own effort. But then you scroll through social media and see someone else who appears to have achieved something more impressive or who seems to be enjoying a more luxurious lifestyle. Suddenly, your own achievement feels smaller, less significant. This is the danger of comparison. It robs us of the joy and fulfillment we could find in our own lives. Stoicism teaches us to celebrate our own progress rather than diminishing it through the lens of others' lives. When we understand that our worth is not tied to someone else's accomplishments, we start to see ourselves with more compassion. Every step we take forward, however small, is worth recognizing. By shifting our focus from competition to personal growth, we find a sense of liberation. We begin to appreciate our own journey, with all its highs and lows, as something uniquely valuable and meaningful. In the Stoic view, success and happiness are defined by living in alignment with one's values and striving for self-improvement, rather than by meeting society's ever-shifting standards. This doesn't mean we stop setting goals or pushing ourselves to achieve. Instead, it means we ground our ambitions in our own values and judge our progress based on our own journey. This mindset change helps us break free from the need to compete with others and allows us to grow without the burden of constant comparison. When we let go of comparison, we make room for gratitude and self-reflection. We start to see the blessings in our lives and recognize that our experiences are our own. We are no longer shadowed by someone else's achievements or lifestyle. This is not about ignoring other people's success. Rather, it's about acknowledging that their journey is separate from ours, that their achievements don't diminish our own. The next time you find yourself feeling inadequate because of someone else's success, pause and take a step back. Remind yourself that your value is not determined by how you compare to others, but by the effort and intention you bring to your own life. Let go of the need to measure up to others and instead focus on the goals that genuinely matter to you. In doing so, you'll find a peace and contentment that come from within, untethered by the shifting standards of the outside world. This is the Stoic way of conquering overthinking and finding joy in your own unique journey. 5. Embracing imperfection. In our pursuit of success, it's natural to strive for perfection, but this relentless drive can often lead us into a cycle of dissatisfaction and paralyzing fear of failure. Stoicism offers an alternative approach, one that embraces imperfection as an essential part of being human. The Stoics teach us that the pursuit of absolute perfection is not only unrealistic, but also unnecessary. Instead, they encourage us to see our imperfections as opportunities for growth, as part of the journey towards self-improvement rather than as obstacles to be eliminated. Seneca, a renowned Stoic philosopher, wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This insight reveals the Stoic understanding of how our minds often make situations seem worse than they truly are. In our quest for perfection, we imagine every possible error or flaw as catastrophic, magnifying them far beyond their actual impact. We become so focused on avoiding mistakes that the act of pursuing our goals feels overwhelming, turning into a source of stress rather than fulfillment. This is where the Stoic philosophy becomes a guiding light, reminding us to let go of the illusion of perfection. Imagine you're starting a new project or learning a new skill. The desire to get everything exactly right can be intimidating. You might find yourself overthinking each step, feeling that one wrong move could ruin everything. But if you approach the task with the Stoic mindset that imperfection is natural and even valuable, you can transform your experience. Rather than seeing mistakes as failures, you start to view them as essential lessons. Each mistake becomes a stepping stone, a way to understand yourself better and refine your approach. Stoicism teaches that every experience, especially those marked by imperfection, adds depth to our journey. Marcus Aurelius, another prominent Stoic, wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that the very obstacles we fear are, in fact, integral to our progress. The things that challenge us, that force us to make mistakes and learn from them, are the things that ultimately shape us and help us grow. Instead of aiming for flawless execution, Stoicism encourages us to aim for consistent progress, to view each step as valuable regardless of whether it's perfect. When we embrace imperfection, we free ourselves from the heavy burden of unrealistic expectations. We begin to see that life is not about avoiding mistakes, but about using them to build resilience and wisdom. This shift in perspective allows us to approach new opportunities with curiosity rather than fear, with the understanding that our flaws do not define us, they enrich us. It's a liberating feeling to know that we don't have to get everything right, that our worth is not measured by perfection, but by the growth and effort we put into each moment. The Stoic approach to imperfection also fosters a deeper sense of self-acceptance. Instead of constantly feeling inadequate or worrying that we're falling short, we learn to appreciate ourselves as works in progress. This doesn't mean we stop trying to improve. Rather, it means we embrace improvement as an ongoing process, one that celebrates each small victory and each lesson learned. By letting go of the myth of perfection, we open ourselves to a life where growth becomes a joy rather than a burden, where each experience, no matter how flawed, adds to the richness of our lives. The next time you find yourself hesitating or overthinking because you fear making mistakes, remember this Stoic lesson. Perfection is not the goal, progress is. Celebrate the small steps, the imperfect achievements, and the resilience you gain from each challenge. In doing so, you'll not only reduce overthinking, but also discover a life filled with possibilities, where imperfection is not something to be feared but embraced. 6. Mastering emotions. In moments of intense emotion, whether it's anger, fear, sadness, or excitement, it's easy to let our feelings take control, shaping our decisions and clouding our judgment. But Stoicism teaches that while emotions are natural, they don't have to dictate our responses. Instead of being led by emotional impulses, Stoics believe in responding with reason and clarity. This approach doesn't deny our humanity. It empowers us to harness our emotions in a way that serves us, rather than allowing them to drive us toward rash or regrettable actions. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, emphasized the importance of examining our impressions. He famously wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This means that while we can't control the events around us, we do have control over how we perceive and react to them. In practice, this involves taking a step back in moments of heightened emotion, questioning whether our reactions are based on reality or if they're clouded by a temporary feeling. By pausing to consider our response, we can avoid letting fleeting emotions shape long-term outcomes. Imagine you're facing a challenging situation, such as a disagreement with a friend or a stressful project at work. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the immediate emotional response, maybe anger, frustration, or self-doubt. But in the Stoic way, you would take a moment to assess the situation more objectively. Instead of reacting impulsively, you would consider whether your feelings truly reflect the situation or if they're intensified by internal anxieties. This process helps you separate emotion from action, allowing you to respond thoughtfully and constructively. One of the core Stoic practices is achieving a level of detachment from emotions, not by ignoring them, but by observing them without being controlled by them. This form of emotional resilience is not about suppression. It's about understanding that emotions, like thoughts, are transient. They pass and change, and if we allow them to settle rather than acting on them impulsively, we often find that they lose their intensity. Stoicism teaches us that by not letting emotions define our actions, we can approach life's challenges with a steady and clear mind. Let's take a common example. Imagine you didn't get the job you applied for. The initial disappointment might lead to thoughts of inadequacy or fear about future rejections. However, if you approach this disappointment from a Stoic perspective, you would recognize that while you can't change the outcome, you can choose how to respond. Instead of allowing self-doubt to take over, you might view this as an opportunity to improve, to reassess, and to prepare better for the next opportunity. This shift in thinking prevents the emotional response from overwhelming you, allowing you to turn the setback into a stepping stone for growth. This Stoic mastery over emotions isn't about denying yourself the right to feel. It's about cultivating a mindset where feelings don't cloud our judgment. As Epictetus, another renowned Stoic philosopher, said, "It's not the events themselves that disturb us, but our view of them." By changing our perspective on emotional events, we can experience them with a sense of calm and control, acknowledging our feelings without being ruled by them. Practicing emotional resilience doesn't require grand gestures. It starts with small, daily decisions. The next time you find yourself in an emotionally charged moment, take a breath and ask, is my reaction based on reality, or am I allowing emotions to influence my perspective? This simple step can be transformative. By separating emotion from action, you empower yourself to approach life with wisdom, patience, and a deeper sense of inner peace. This Stoic way of handling emotions leads to a life where reason and clarity guide us, rather than the fleeting turbulence of unchecked feelings. 7. Focusing on the present moment. One of the most profound teachings in Stoic philosophy is the emphasis on living in the present moment. In our daily lives, it's all too common to dwell on the pastry-hashing mistakes or painful experiences or to worry about the future, anxiously planning for events that may never even occur. This fixation on what's behind or what lies ahead can consume us, filling our minds with regret and fear. The Stoics, however, believed that true peace and clarity come from anchoring ourselves in the present, the only moment we truly have control over. Marcus Aurelius, in his Reflections, wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." With this simple yet powerful statement, he invites us to focus on what we can influence right now, letting go of the weight of yesterday and the uncertainty of tomorrow. The past is unchangeable and the future is unknown. The present is the only realm where we can act, grow, and make a meaningful difference in our lives. By confining ourselves to the present, we liberate ourselves from the mental and emotional burdens that come with clinging to what we cannot change or control. Consider a time when you are preoccupied with something that already happened or something yet to come. Maybe it was a conflict with a friend that replayed in your mind, or a looming deadline that stirred up anxiety. In both cases, focusing on these non-present moments only amplified your stress and diverted your attention from what you could actually address. Stoicism teaches that by returning our focus to the present, we gain the power to engage fully with the tasks at hand and approach life's challenges with a clear mind. This practice of presence doesn't mean ignoring the lessons of the past or failing to prepare for the future. Instead, it means consciously choosing to invest your energy where it will have the most impact in the actions and decisions you're making right now. The Stoic approach to living in the present encourages mindfulness, urging us to notice the details of our current experience, whether it's the conversation we're having, the work in front of us, or the quiet moments alone. When we cultivate this mindful presence, we create a buffer against the anxieties of what's to come and the regrets of what is past. One simple way to embrace the present is through mindful breathing. When you feel your mind wandering to the past or future, take a few deep breaths and refocus on the sensations around you, the sounds, the sights, the feeling of your feet on the ground. These grounding practices bring your awareness back to the here and now, where you have the most agency. As we strengthen this habit, we begin to see how much of our mental clutter falls away when we stop fixating on what we can't change. Living in the present moment also opens up a deeper appreciation for life's simple joys. We learn to savor experiences as they come, without constantly comparing them to what was or what could be. This focus on the now enhances our resilience, allowing us to handle stress with a sense of calm and purpose. By practicing presence, we cultivate a life where each moment is rich, each interaction meaningful, and each experience valuable. This doesn't just help us manage overthinking, it transforms our perspective, helping us to live with greater intention and peace. As Marcus Aurelius urged, let us live with vigor and purpose in the present, engaging fully with life as it unfolds. In doing so, we find a profound sense of freedom and peace, grounded in the knowledge that the present moment is where our power truly lies. By embracing this Stoic wisdom, we let go of the weight of the past, release the worries of the future, and allow ourselves to experience life as it is, moment by moment. As we reach the end of this journey into Stoic wisdom, take a moment to consider the insights we've explored. Imagine living a life where overthinking no longer controls you, where peace isn't something you chase, but something you carry within. The Stoics showed us that clarity, resilience, and inner strength are within our reach, even in the face of today's constant challenges and distractions. These timeless principles focusing on the present, embracing imperfection, taking action, and detaching from the need for approval are the foundation for a life that's more mindful, intentional, and genuinely fulfilling. But remember, learning about Stoicism is only the beginning. The real transformation comes from practicing these principles day by day. As Marcus Aurelius advised, waste no more time arguing what a good person should be. Be one. Each small step you take to apply these ideas can make a profound difference. The next time you find yourself caught in a web of overthinking, remind yourself of what you've learned here. Take a breath, bring your focus back to what you can control, and choose a course of action that aligns with your values. Our goal with this channel is to continue sharing insights that help you find balance, cultivate resilience, and connect with a deeper sense of purpose. There's so much more to explore within Stoicism and other philosophies that can empower you to live fully with calm and clarity. If you've found value in these teachings and want to keep growing, we invite you to join us by subscribing to this channel. By subscribing, you'll stay connected to content designed to support you on your path toward a more centered, thoughtful life. And remember, you're not alone in this journey. Our community here is full of individuals like you, people seeking to improve, to find peace in the present moment, and to let go of what holds them back. Through Stoicism and other insights, we can support one another, learn from one another, and move forward together. So, if you're ready to continue building a life of wisdom, inner peace, and authentic strength, hit that subscribe button and join our community. Let's continue this journey of self-discovery and growth. There's so much more to come, and each new insight could be the one that shifts your perspective and brings you closer to the life you envision. Thank you for watching, and until next time, may you live with intention and find peace in each moment.